On this week's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, we go all over the map. We do 450 off-road bikes. We talk about adventure bikes. And important to everybody, because your bike needs fuel, Chris Reel comes on and tells us about the new E15 gas that you should expect to, for lack of a better term, boil. Now here's the show. Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is the show live from Pahrump, Valley of the Dirt People, where we do this every Tuesday night, almost every Tuesday night.
And sorry to everyone's ears we just blew out.
Why did we do that?
This the software sometimes.
Oh, you're drinking a beer, Matt.
Yeah. First time I've had one.
And you started off with the bang by blowing everybody's ears out. Are we normalized now? Have we figured it out?
It's good now.
Should I put my headphones on?
Well, I mean, we don't have anyone in the Zoom call. We did have a listener joining the Zoom call, and I gave them a rundown what the hot seat hotline is, and then they hopped off the Zoom call. But if you have any questions that you want to ask live, feel free to hop on the Zoom call in the description.
So you scared them away?
Well, I just gave them a rundown. It's like, hey, you don't have to be on the Zoom call to watch the show, but if you want to ask questions live, you can. Feel free to just stay in the Zoom call and then.
So maybe they thought, oh yeah, Mark, hold on, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and tequila. I'll get into this a little bit later. But good to see you. So I was blowing everybody's voices out, our ears out, and I was saying, for the first one. Yeah, I was saying that we have a banger of a show, like we always do, because this is the best show that you can ever find about motorcycles and motorcycle-related products. Mm-hmm. We answer 9 out of 10 questions on the show live without referring to a reference manual, and we give you good, honest advice by people who live this life. Yeah. So I can help you because I have lots of experience with motorcycles and motorcycle related products and a few other things. But we stay away from the usual stuff. I'm kind of confused because everybody's been lately sending me a lot of Husabergs for sale, like ones that have never been ridden, collector's items still in the crate, to basket cases like that. I've got enough. Okay. I don't need any more. And Dave Donnelly's in the chat, and Dave actually tracked me down. I don't know. I think he stalks me. He found me in the Home Depot parking lot, and he was like, when you coming over to pick up that Husaberg? So, and I don't know if the price went down between the first time he told me he was selling it to me and the second time he told me to come pick it up. But yeah, so good to see everybody, all of our locals in the chat. Our chat is usually pretty active if you're listening to this on a podcast format. When we do this show live, you can ask your questions in the chat, or if you're the hard thing was at the podcast, you're probably driving or doing something and you don't have time to do it. And then you have this question like, I should ask. Well, just schedule a little time on Tuesday night or go to the latest episode on either YouTube or Facebook. YouTube's better because it aggregates the comments a little bit better. It's easier to grab.
YouTube is easier on the back end than Facebook, for sure. Actually, I'm kind of underwhelmed with Facebook's back end.
Right.
Or the business back end.
Right. It's so confusing. It used to be easy when you didn't have all that business stuff. I don't even do it anymore. Yeah.
They've updated it, and it's with each update, the interface has gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. So it's hard. So what he's saying is it's hard for us to track down the questions sometimes on the Facebooks.
And we have a bot that just automates responses for us.
Oh, is it any good?
No, it just says, thanks for contacting. We'll reach back out to you. So if you haven't heard back from us, it's because Facebook sent you that little message and we never saw the notification that you sent us a message.
Okay, go to YouTube. Because
YouTube or email Matt@jimmylewisoffroad.com.
Yeah, email us, Matt@jimmylewisoffroad.com, Jimmy at Dirt Bike Test. We can get your questions answered. And that's courtesy of a lot of sponsors that we have on this show. It wouldn't be possible without the help of our very first sponsor, DDC, Delaney Drive Components, makers of really awesome chain wheels. Of course, I've been helped personally and for this show by Trail Tech, Fasst Company, and of course, Climb. I was wearing a very comfortable Climb -1.0 Aggressor shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool about that is it's like it has some cooling stuff in it. I don't know what it is, but I bought it on accident. I got it on accident. I thought I was getting a 1.0 and I got a -1.0 because I liked the color.
Mm-hmm.
and it was too cold to wear it, but I was doing this weird thing where I was wearing it because it's super comfortable. I was wearing it underneath my 1.0. So I was doing a -1.0, then a 1.0. And I swear the wicking ability of that thing is way better. So anyways, Climb. Scott Sports, Taco Moto. They're bringing you Rooster Endo. Do we have Rooster Endos?
Yes, we do. Thank you to everyone on Facebook. We got all of our Rooster Endos within the last 30 minutes.
Okay, so Rooster Endo, that's where you send us your bike, picture your bike, tell us a little bit about it, and we discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
Discuss it. And the favorite, the one that gives us the most enjoyment, I always like to say, gets a $100 gift certificate from Taco Moto. There is Seat Concepts. They make really awesome seats. There's one right here. I'm almost sitting on it. Bulletproof designs and double take mirrors. I used double take mirror to do an awesome job shaving my head today. Yeah, that's not what most people use them for, but I did that. And then bulletproof designs. I was working on a bike the other day that took a really big hit from it just falling over on a rock. And I saw the dent that it put in the bulletproof designs radiator guard, but the radiator was still perfectly straight. So good. So that saved that person $250.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
it's pretty easy to mount too.
They're so easy to mount. Make sure that you get your bulletproof designs radiator guards when your bike is brand new, right, Brenda?
that is something that you get before you crash.
Yeah, it's definitely not saying that you're ever going to crash. I wouldn't say that, but they fit so much nicer on a brand new thing. Why is everybody a Facebook user? Or it's just maybe how they're logged in or something?
It could be which channel they're watching through. This is something this is just a theory. I haven't put any time to investigate this, but I'm pretty sure that's if they're watching from one of the Facebook groups who broadcast to.
Okay, so Facebook user says over, armor, or under. And the over looks like the little dots over the O. So I'm guessing it might come from another country. But that's a good question. I mean, it's kind of a personal preference. I tend to wear.
I'm a big fan of under.
Yeah, I wear chest protectors over. I always did wear them over, but now they've gotten a lot more comfortable. And with some of the technical undergarments, you can wear like a Climb -1.0. You can wear that under and then a chest protector on top of it, and you don't get the kind of the chafing that you normally would, and it doesn't get the kind of the hot spots that sometimes the padding will kind of mess stuff up. So I used to be over all the time, and then I kind of went a little bit more to under. I mean, of course, knee pads are always under the pant, except for new people like to put them on the outside.
They'll put them on the outside on their jeans.
Yeah, outside of their jeans. I don't understand that yet, but why that's a thing? Maybe because they don't fit inside their jeans. But riding pants are designed to have your knee cups or knee braces under, so that's under. Hopefully, that'll answer your question. And then good morning if you're in the future, meaning if you're one of our listeners from Australia.
Yeah.
Good morning. I think it's
support.
Yeah. or is it tomorrow at this time? I don't.
And Jesse, it was good seeing you too. It was so we went to Taco Moto open house.
We went to the Taco Moto open house in Vegas. Taco Mike got a key to the city and cut the blue ribbon. Had the city councilman there. Seemed like it was a good time. Talked to a lot of different people. If half the people that said they were going to come out and go to my riding school, come to my riding school, I'll be in good shape. So I've been watching on YouTube on the big screen, Facebook on the iPad for the chat. Okay, good. Bumping our ratings there, Mark.
That's a 2-for-1 special right there on the viewership.
That's good.
Hey, okay, we got a good question here.
Okay, what is it?
So from Facebook user, sorry, it doesn't say your name. Hey guys, I'm upgrading to a 44 millimeter throttle body on my 22-500 EXC, but found a different number for the 2023 KTM SXF throttle body. Puts the number in the chat versus the 2022 and older KTM SXF throttle body is a different number. They're both 44 millimeter, but not sure if the difference besides the 2023 is much better priced.
My question is, why are you doing this? What are you trying to achieve? But yeah, I don't know. I haven't taken one of those apart. That's something that Taco Mike would probably be a little bit more inclined. Scroll down so I can look at the part numbers again and see if there's anything that
could it be where like the throttle cable attaches to the
generally okay, so generally
you put in the chat more power, baby.
Okay, so
he also put in something else here. Let me throw this in as well. Also,
right. So they changed. They oftentimes they change the locations, and that's why I was looking at the first part number, and sometimes, and it's like I said, the 23 with that the A406. Sometimes when it's a brand new, it's on the early motocross bikes. If they adapt that over to the other models and stuff, it'll change part numbers. They'll supersede the part number because it was like a small order of those, and then it goes. But so for more power, where I'm just kind of wondering like where you're lacking power. So you're wide open, right? Mm-hmm. And I always have to ask this. So you're already wide open. You're at peak RPM, and the bike's not making enough power at that point. And if you have Supermoto wheels and stuff on it, then I can kind of understand. But I've yet to find someone that claims that they want more power that would require a bigger throttle body. And I'm being dead serious that was bad.
There was not, the security stuff was on. Ow.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Good. I had to take my headset off for that one, Matt.
I had to take mine off too.
Yeah. So back to the throttle body. When you're literally, I mean, you have to be like wide open for that small difference in throttle body size to really make a big difference. And a lot of times you're going to compromise probably where you're actually riding the motorcycle. So, see, so somebody like the what do they call them when they go into the troll? Yeah. How did they get straight in?
They didn't get straight in.
How did you? So you let them in?
No, I thought they shouldn't have had the ability to unmute themselves.
Oh.
So some security thing was not in place that was supposed to be in place.
So the minute you let them in, they were unmuted.
Yeah.
And then they
were supposed to be muted.
We're gonna have to tighten this up, Matt. This is like riding a motorcycle without brakes, and I don't like doing that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We always said strippers was supposed to make this show better. So let's try that audio.
Oh no! Why would your Benjamin? Why did you? Why think to watch an adult video? What was it? I didn't hear what the noise. I took the headphones down.
It was blowing out audio of like some moan.
Okay, it sounded like kids screaming. It sounded like someone. It sounded like someone kicked a baby in the nuts.
Yeah.
Not that I would be familiar with what that sounds like, but anyways, Rich, I do know something about how Trevor's bike was set up for the Legacy race. Horribly set up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it didn't finish, and he had tire problems that were induced largely by bad choice in gearing, but also there could be a tire production problem. And just, man, the time and effort spent to fail valiantly, I guess. But yeah, he needs to do a little bit better. I mean, Trevor doesn't build his own motors. He had somebody else do it, and evidently something was done wrong in the modifying thing. So back to what Jimmy riddles all the time. If they would have just left that motor completely stock, they probably would have won. Because I'm 99% sure that bike would go fast enough. I mean, put a pipe on it, maybe do some fuel tuning, but that bike would go plenty fast like that to win, and they would have had less tire problems, which slowed them down more than a lot of the other stuff. And then they decided to retire the bike before they grenaded it, which is smart because I don't think they have the budget to fix it. So, okay. I don't know exactly what the motor had in it, but I think it did have an R cam and R head in it. And Trevor said it was whatever was done to it was really expensive. So, and I'm guessing, and I don't think he's taken it apart yet, but I'm guessing that by slowing down, it probably is had some bad stuff, catastrophic stuff going wrong with it. So it's probably very expensive anyway. So can we have any other questions there, Matt?
Yeah. Asher's in the chat here, in the Zoom chat here. So Asher, we'll just bring you on with audio for now. So feel free to, I'm going to unmute you here.
Tech Talk Taco Tuesday's main sponsor is Yamaha. Yamaha, makers of the YZ, YZFX, and WR lines for off-road. And, of course, the Tenere 700 is my current favorite adventure bike. And the one thing that if you start watching all the videos that Trevor's putting up on this 450 comparison, the Power Tuner app, which works on the FX and the YZ, and then now I have a competition ECU in the WR. Man, that's game changing. It allows so much more tuning, and a lot of other manufacturers, they have ability to change little maps, but no way, not even close to the level you can do with the Power Tuner app. It's free. It's on your phone, and you can request maps from people like me sometimes. And there's lots of maps that Yamaha provides. And if you just play with it, you can learn so much about how to make your YZ, FX, or WR that's been modified for close course competition use work way better. So Asher's in the chat.
Yeah. So Asher, feel free to ask your question now. You should be good to go.
I can't hear him. You got him muted?
No, he's unmuted.
He's unmuted? But he's silent. He's hiding.
Yeah, you should be good to go. Asher, is your mic set up? Because it says you're unmuted.
We can't hear him.
Hello, I guess.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, hello. So I guess my question is about clutch levers. So I ride a DRZ, and kind of stupidly, I use it to do trialsy stuff and really technical stuff. With
no, that's not stupid. That's a great way to practice.
Yeah, so
it's fun riding.
I guess what was I gonna say? So I've kind of noticed the clutch is a little heavy for doing kind of blips to get over big logs or kind of to load the flywheel and stuff. So I've been looking at how to lighten it, and there's a Magura hydraulic clutch kit. Well, what started this idea was I rode a buddy of mine's KTM 500. And the hydraulic clutch kind of ruined everything for me with how light it was. So I've been looking at how to lighten my clutch pull, and I've kind of narrowed it down to an ASV clutch, which has a bearing, which should lighten it, or Magura has a hydraulic clutch adapter kit. So I was wondering what's a better option.
So I've used the Magura hydraulic clutch kit on a number of different bikes, and maybe even a DRZ quite a long time ago, back when they were newer. And it kind of depended on the bike, whether it actually lightened up or stiffened actually the pull. So without, having remembering exactly, You could probably go on some forums or something that they're DRZ specific, and somebody may have done, and they can say whether it got lighter or heavier. I don't, like I said, I wish I could remember, because then I could tell you, but I know on some bikes it actually got a little bit stiffer. So there's a couple things, like you talk about the ASV lever has the bearing, but sometimes on the ASVs and a couple other levers, they actually change where the pivot point is on the, so where it's pulling on the cable and where it begins to pull and where it ends up pulling. Because a lot of times if you actually change the adjustment on the clutch, and it starts pulling at a different point, it'll get a little bit lighter. I don't know if you've tried this just with the adjustment.
Yeah, I've adjusted my clutch, but I've even changed out the clutch cable, and it's still pretty heavy.
It still seems heavy.
Yeah, the stock system's pretty. I mean, I've oiled the pivot, but it's just raw metal on metal, so.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't remember. This is the strange thing is I don't remember the DRZ clutch being that heavy. But then again, I was never doing trials riding on them. I was just kind of trail riding or dual sport, and we did gnarly trails on them. And I don't remember it being that difficult. And so I don't think it's like any of the. I don't think it's the clutch pivot or the cable. If you take the cable and just have it free and it moves free, or the clutch pivot, moves freely, those aren't going to cause it. Do you know that if the springs are stock?
I'm like 90% sure the springs are stock.
Yeah. So, because I've also seen people that, especially when they build up the DRZs, they put heavier clutch springs in there because they tend to slip. And the one thing I was going to say is if you can get lighter clutch springs, that could help. But I know that the DRZ is prone to clutch slipping under high power loads, which is, it's supposed to do that. It's to help the durability of the transmission. And someone on the chat just said that Moose makes a nice easy pull lever and perch for not a bad price. So I would poke around and look at some of the more simple options. Like I said, the levers. And I know what, like when ASV was, when it was the guy who did all the R&D, and I'm trying to think of his name. He was so into clutch levers, and he's building all these CNC machine ones, and he would move the pivot points just ever so slightly, and it made a huge difference. I remember there used to be a thing that would actually go in line in the cable as well. It had a little shorty cable that would come out of your lever and go into this box that kind of altered the pivot. And so there was a thing like that as well. But the first thing I would try is actually loosen up your clutch adjustment. So it's like, I would call it a little more slacky than what you're used to. So there's a lot of free play, and see if just by having the lever kind of angled in a little bit more, if that lightens up the pull. And if that does, it may be as simple as just, kind of playing around with some of this stuff.
Okay. Well, I've been playing a lot with the adjustment, and because of also having a problem, like when I set up for like a log or a rock, I'm static balancing and then holding with one finger. But the problem is when I pull in with one finger, the clutch will compress.
Then it touches your other fingers.
Yeah, and then like my engine is loading, and then right as I try to hit it, I'll either stall and then fall over the handlebars, or I'll have to hold with all my fingers, and then it's hard to control the handlebar with that one hand. So that's where it's like, how do I?
And you're pretty sure that your clutch plates are all in really good shape.
I haven't checked that. Would that be a problem?
Because so if clutch baskets wear, so where the drive plates kind of reach out of the basket, or where the inner plates kind of run on the drive hub, if that's kind of worn and they're grooved, it won't allow them to move. But the most common things is sometimes is just when they've gotten really hot, they tend to warp a little bit, and then it takes a longer disengagement of the clutch to actually get it to disengage, because they're kind of still, by being a little bit warped. So it's funny, that it's just, and you're going down the right path. I mean, wanting to make it lighter, but I would before I would spend a lot of money on a certain part, I would make sure that everything in line. And like you said, you've lubed the cable. That's good. The pivot, that's good. And it's not that hard to get in that clutch cover and pop those plates out and just look for any grooves on the basket or grooves on the inner ring, and then check the flatness of the plates, especially the steel plates. And I don't remember if that is all steel or there might be some aluminum ones in there also. Sometimes going to all steel plates can help also.
Okay. I'm thinking it could be the clutch because my bike does have like 11,000 miles on it. So I definitely haven't checked the clutch before. So probably should get into there.
And it's super easy to do. That clutch cover pulls right off, and it's 4 or 5 or 6 bolts, and it just comes apart, and then you can kind of inspect it. And if your steel plates are blue or black, if they're nice and silver, you're in good shape. If they're blue or black, it probably got hot, and then I would really start looking into the flatness and just getting a good replacement clutch, or just new stock one. Or there's I've had really good luck with some of the aftermarket ones, actually from I put a couple of the Tusk clutches in my KTM RFS bikes that I bought with worn out clutches because I've never personally worn one out, and they're still in there. So
Tusk is like a good clutch.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The ones that I've used, I've had good luck with it. And if you want to support us, you can always help clicking through our link on the dirt bike test and through Rocky Mountain. And
I actually did that through Rocky Mountain this week. I think I spent me and my dad spent like $500, and we went through your link. So
awesome. I appreciate it. It helps buy Matt's beer that he's stopped drinking, and he's back drinking water because of all the mistakes he's made.
Oh yeah. All 2 mistakes tonight.
2. Well, that's 2 more than perfection.
We should replace the you know how we used to have the counter? It's going to be the Matt's mistakes counter.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a good thing. We'll get
brought to you by whoever wants to sponsor that.
Hey Asher, when you figure out what this problem is, can you get back to us?
I definitely will.
Awesome, because I want to learn a little bit about it too.
All right.
Because DRZs are still being sold. People still have questions, and so when are you going to get a KTM?
It's never, because they're too expensive and I don't like the maintenance intervals.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. Trust me, they're no different than your DRZ. I mean, if you like to read the manuals, they will say a couple different things, but you can always get a Yamaha.
Yeah. I don't know. I like riding to my desert races, so.
Yeah. Awesome.
XT.
Hey, you know what Trevor's going to do? Trevor's going to ride the XT 225 to a National Hare and Hound and race it. And he thought that was going to be good enough. I'm like, no. Then you put a sleeping bag on your back and you go camping.
There we go. Is he going to do a video of this?
Yeah, he has to. He videos everything.
Oh, nice. And Asher, if you're keeping an eye on the chat right now, actually, someone in the Facebook chat just put a link for that moose.
Yeah, but don't buy it there. Go to
your guys' link, right?
Yeah, go through our link and look up Moose Racing easy pull clutch lever.
Oh, awesome. Well, hey, thanks a lot for calling.
Thank you a lot for having me.
Hope you fix it.
I definitely will.
Hey, has the DRZ been in Roost or Endo yet?
It has. I won a shirt.
Oh, because was I mean to you?
No, you picked a snow bike over me.
Oh, that was horrible. I shouldn't have done that.
Did we send the shirt?
Did we send the shirt?
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Okay, well, let us know how it goes, and we'll see you out in the trail.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
We do have another question from Steve Smith here.
Okay.
I'm going to allow him to unmute himself, and then we'll, because we got the security settings fixed.
He's not having a giant orgy in his house, is he?
No,
I'm not.
With the volume turned to 11. Okay.
The security settings are fixed. Believe it or not.
Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and not strippers.
Cool. Yeah, there are none of them here, perhaps unfortunately. Okay, so I actually submitted a photo of my bike tonight. And I think you guys are going to see it later. But I'm not
So
calling.
are you buttering us up?
No, but I don't want you to confuse these two bikes because they're only 1 year apart. Mine's EXC, but I'm calling you about an XCW, a 2016 500 XCW that is driving me nuts. I've been working on it for about a month, and then it wound up going to a dealer. It's a buddy's bike, and it wound up going to a dealer, and he's having the same problem. And it eventually just went back to my buddy, and basically the dealer said the same thing I did. So here's the issue: the start button will intermittently not start the bike, and it won't do anything. And so I take that back. It'll turn the engine over. It doesn't prime the fuel pump intermittently. Now, what fixes it?
It's the relay.
I've checked the
relay that's underneath the side panel.
I checked them and replaced them with brand new ones.
Really?
I've done so much to this bike. I've replaced the fuel pump.
Because yeah. So if it's not the relay, then I'm going to go into the wiring harness.
I feel like I've cleaned and fixed every wiring disaster I could find.
So I think, and I know that I chased this down once, or actually a couple times now. I've chased this down, and it was so the three things. It was the relay, and so now anytime this starts acting up, I just go change the relay, and literally, you know how there's two of them underneath there?
Yep, they're the same.
I literally just switch them,
right?
And then it fixes the problem, and then I go get a new one, and it's good. So that's fixed it before. I've had the buttons on the handlebar, the start button on the handlebar, just literally wear out or have dirt get in there and stuff.
Right.
So that's that could be the issue. And if it's the wiring harness, and the wiring harness was really inexpensive. I mean, like the light side one, I think is like $300 or $400, and the one that does the starting and all the other stuff, it was like $60, I think.
Wow. Okay, and that might be worth.
I had it. Yeah. I chased every wire, and you look at some of them, they're like a little, you know how tiny those wires are.
Mm.
And, so that's all it takes is one that's just kind of like it's just cracked and pulled apart, and it touches half the time and doesn't touch the other half. It'll eventually completely fail, but I would go that route.
Well, the weird thing here is that it invariably, if I give it the weakest little kick, I don't have to kick it like I really want it to start. I can be in tennis shoes and just give it a third of a kick, and all I have to do is just hear that fuel pump prime, and then I can hit the button and it'll start instantly. So the button's not giving me trouble. All that's happening is it's not priming off the button.
Huh.
I know. The button seems to work perfectly, and it's not priming.
So I'm going to tell you one other thing that I've had happen is I've had an ECU go bad.
I was wondering about this.
Okay, so I had an ECU go bad, and if you have the ability to switch ECUs, see if the between a couple different bikes, see if the problem follows the ECU.
Okay.
And so my ECU, I'm trying to remember what it did. It was a long time ago, and it did something that was just kind of funky, and it didn't make any sense. And I chased a lot of different stuff, and it was like, I just said, well, I'm just going to start switching parts, just wholesale. Cause I had a couple it was a 2014. So I just switched ECU, and the problem went on to another bike. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That's the issue. And I think it might've been just it was like the way that the lights would turn on or off. It was some kind of weird signal where it would just intermittently, the lights would just, it wouldn't sense that the engine was running anymore, even though it was running, and it would shut lights down. So, give that a shot. For sure. Let us know what you find out. That's an interesting one. And on all the, the thousands of hours I have on my bikes, the different 500s, it's very rare, but those are the things that I've experienced or had friends that have had problems with.
Yeah, I actually have two others. So I don't know why I haven't tried swapping the ECUs, but that'll be what I have next, or what I do next. I have two others of my own.
Because you're too smart to do the obvious thing.
Well, I've replaced everything on the bike except for that.
Right. This is the sometimes the simplest thing is something that you just have to ask another person. And I'm surprised, like I said, if it went to, I would love it if you do that and it fixes it, and then you've had it to the dealership and all this other stuff. I would feel like, oh, I did a good job. But who knows? I might be getting a call next week, and we're on to level 2, level 2 diagnostic.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I've certainly got plenty of ECUs lying around. I can certainly try it.
I appreciate that.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, okay. Thanks a lot. And we got a question up in the chat I saw.
Actually, chat's been pretty engaged with the questions that are coming on from the Hot Seat Hotline.
Somebody I thought was thanking me for telling them to get an ECU.
To get the get.
Yeah. Well, it was that was the guy who was going with the bigger throttle body.
Maybe.
I wasn't able to watch it. They kind of went backwards on getting that bike tuned up. Let's see. Buddy has an uncorked 22 450F, WR 450F. That's a Yamaha. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Comp ECU mapped in a FMF 4.1. He pulls my 500 EXC pretty hard. Well, it's a Yamaha. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yamaha, sponsor of this show. I'm still waiting for the guy who was going to buy a Yamaha, but then he saw our off-road comparison and it got him thinking about the Kawasaki. It's my duty to talk him off the Kawasaki and back onto the Yamaha because we were just shills for the sponsors. Yeah. So I need the 44. No.
Don't.
I don't know. I don't know what you like. If you have your 500, make sure the little teeny tiny thing is out of the muffler. Actually, just get a different muffler. Be sound responsible. Get a different muffler. That'd be the first thing. Then decide what you want to do, because at that point you're going to start needing to do some fueling. And if you start, Taco Moto has a really good, we'll call it a white sheet on the steps you can take to your KTM 500. And I promise you that the throttle body's on there at some point. But if you don't have an ECU already, the ECU could be the key. And on the new ones, I'm not that familiar with running the piggyback tuners like I was on the older ones, because they do try to compensate. So you may be kind of forced to go down the ECU route. But yeah, you'll be able to fix that bike. The newer WRs are awesome machines. I have one in my garage. I've been testing it. I need to get a muffler because the stock muffler is very, very restrictive. I like how quiet it is, but
especially compared to the competition ones.
Yeah, then I can at least I'll get an FMFQ, and then I will be able to kind of tune it and get it to run in the same league as the bikes that it wants to compete against. And what I'll do is I'll go make it just with the muffler and the power tuner. I'll make it faster than Trevor's Vegas, whatever race he just did, the Tonopah race, the Legacy race. I'll make that bike faster than Trevor's bike, just a stock Yamaha with a muffler on it. And then he can come and talk to me about the other things he needs to work on.
Yeah.
So
I'm available for a private lesson.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did you talk to that other guy I told you to talk to?
What other guy?
The guy that last week, the guy that wanted the private lessons ASAP.
Yeah. I sent a message the next morning.
You doing a lesson?
No.
Oh,
I haven't heard back. Need to follow up.
Okay. Let's
see. From Finn Meyerhoff. I sent my oil to Blackstone Labs twice, and both results showed a 5% plus 2.8% fuel contamination. Copper was also high. First test had 23 hours. Second had 17. Trail ridden WR 250F, which is not racing. Bike runs totally fine, but now I am paranoid.
Okay, Flynn, you were paranoid before you sent your oil in. I'm just going to be straight up. Like, that's going way over the top. I appreciate that. That's good to know. But what you're seeing right now is probably what we would call a baseline. And I actually got to get Chris Reel on the horn. And
hotline.
Yeah, I'm going to get Finn. I'm going to try to get an expert here to help us with this. We'll have to remember that, copy and paste that question so we can ask him that. Because I think that's kind of like a baseline for stuff. And then actually as you ride it more, it may get clean. That's just kind of breaking at 23 hours. Those bikes are just starting to really loosen up and run good. And I know you can read the manual. It tells you need to put a top end and a crank and and all this other stuff in it. But if you're just trail riding it, you're easily going to go 100 hours on that thing. And maybe at 70, do one at, help us out. Do one at 50 and do one at 70 and report back and keep some records. And then we have kind of like a baseline and stuff for what it's doing, but it's not like they're competition race engines. So I think they kind of leak some of these, minerals or, that are, the zinc and the copper and stuff like that. That's in the motor, but I think it's going to run totally fine.
Okay. So Carlos Salas from YouTube just put in, are ECUs get for the 35 FE
350, I think is what he was trying to do.
350, yeah. FE worth it for tight enduros?
So Chris is in there. Chris, make sure he's in the get him, put the link to the hot seat hotline in there.
It's in the description.
Oh, it's in the description.
Yeah.
Well, he might not know where that's at. Remember, he's a petroleum scientist. So Carlos, what I'm going to ask is, and you can respond back in the chat, is when you're riding, like where would you like more power or less power or smoother power, or what are you actually trying to achieve? Because just getting an ECU, it's just like getting a totally different motorcycle in some instances, because they're gonna change stuff, and they may the standard programming in the ECU may be for motocross. More than likely, it's for motocross, or it's for a dyno run that produces big numbers on the dyno that you will feel when you plug it in and you go rip down the street, down your house, and you go across the field and you turn the throttle wide open. But will it actually work better out on the trail where you're going to use it? That's the question that you need to ask. And it could be, if you had a really good tuner that works with the ECUs, that knows how you ride and knows where you want the bike to do certain things, it's absolutely a better thing. And if you're smart enough to play with the tuning capabilities that come with some of these ECUs, so you need the Wi-Fi unit and the other stuff, then you can get the get to do anything you want it to, just like the Yamaha power tuning app. In fact, there's a lot of similarities between those two for some reason. So yeah, that's so it's kind of a difficult question. I'd rather when you start talking about like what you wanted to do, sometimes it's as simple as changing the gearing. It's changing the throttle pull wheel. It could be a muffler. Certain mufflers, certain header combinations do a lot of different things. Sometimes you may have done something that you read on the internet. It's like yank the reeds out of the intake track and wonder why all of a sudden you lost the torque that you had become accustomed to. So other things.
So there was another question here. So
Okay.
from Brendan Springer Davis, for a 13500 XCW, that is a snow bike with a full FMF 4.1 exhaust, riding between 8,000 and 10,000 feet. Will the stock ECU run too lean? For the piggyback tuner, would you run slightly more lean?
So when you go with that particular bike, when you go to the 4.1, if it doesn't have the quiet insert into it, yes, it's absolutely too lean all the time, especially at the bottom, just opening the throttle and cracking it. So what did he say about the piggyback tuner?
For the piggyback tuner, would you run it slightly more lean?
So if it's the piggyback tuner, doesn't matter which one. I don't think the bike is going to do the leaning for you based on the air pressure. The bike will figure this out. At this point, you're trying to decide what exactly do I want it to, what do I want it to do? How is it running? And man, I don't have enough experience with the snow tracks, the snow bikes to give you some real definite answers. But I'll tell you one thing, those things eat horsepower and they get plenty of traction. So cause when we're tuning with a fuel tuner, you talk about in the words traction. So if you want more traction, you add fuel. In other words, richen it up. If you want less traction, feel, you lean it. And I don't think I think you could actually blow the bike up on a snow track because you're not going to feel the traction in essence, the same way that we would with a tire. It doesn't kind of give that spin up feel because it's always super heavy loaded. But, yes, it makes it run much cooler as well, being it's running proper air rich. So on the fuel tuners, most of them, when you're at 3, and this is the easy thing to do, just do short runs with it. So in the zone that you're curious about, that's on those, most of the fuel tuners, it's red. It's green, yellow, red, low, mid, high. And you're probably on that thing, you've got to be mid or high. And high is definitely wide open. And it's more throttle position on those than it is RPM, but they do overlap. So I would take it, and if 3 is stock, ride at 3, see what it feels like. Do a pull, hold it like 3/4 throttle, and then go to full throttle. And then and on the tuners, if you can actually watch it, you can watch the lights go across the dash. And it'll show you which zone you're in, and it'll change the color that you need to be adjusting. So that helps a lot on those. But play with it, do it stock, and then richen it up. Go ahead and start by richen it up, please. Don't go lean first. Rich, add fuel. Go to 6 and see what it does. And then go down to, maybe go, if 3 is standard, go to 2 or 2.5 or 1.5 and do a quick pull. And as long as it's not doing anything funky, check it. One pull is not going to blow your bike up. You can, if you have a way to check your temperature, that'll give you a lot of indication as well. If the temperature just goes crazy hot, then you're not in a good zone. But you'll feel the difference. You should feel quite a big difference. And then tune away. It's as simple as pushing a button. And that's how I came up with, when I was running the piggyback tuners on my 12, 13, 14, 500s. And I ended up leaner than stock this is for dirt bike riding. Leaner than stock in a lot of places on a stock ECU, but I was richer in what they call the fuel squirt or the transients. So when the one that says it's like pump squirt or whatever. So, because I'm always changing the throttle position every time I would turn the throttle, give it a little extra fuel. So I was able to be leaner consistently, but richer when I gave it the gas. So there's a thing on Dirt Bike Test that I kind of explain how to tune with those things, and that would help.
All right. So Finn had asked a question on the Tour Idaho. Would you take a 500 or 350 EXC?
Man, I wish you had a really good record of all the shows where I went into this in detail, and we could say, you could listen to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday episode number, and I'm going to guess right now 42.
Mm-hmm.
But after doing it, I kind of thought that the 350 might be a better bike in some situations, because it just acts so much lighter. So most of the time, but there's the times when you just need that little bit of torque that a 500 has, that chug and that pull, where the 350 doesn't have it. And you kind of have to do it with RPM. And so it kind of comes down to what kind of a rider you are. And I kind of thought back, I'm like, man, that might have been a little bit better on a 350, but I've always I'll look at episode 42. I don't know if it's episode 42.
I'll say you're right here right now. You're already on the topic. So
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah.
We have this momentum.
So no, we'll just roll with it. So I went back and forth, thinking but I think I would just default to the 500. I would default to the larger bike. Cause I want a 125 or a 950. I'm kind of this, I like the polar opposites of the thing. And the 350 is really good. And just put a tamer map in number 2 on the 500. You can have a 500 and 350 in one bike. That means you have to have an ECU on it, I think, with 2 position switches.
There was a conversation going on about the Get ECU. So
right. It's hard to pay attention to the conversation when I'm I only have 2 brain cells.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to kill them, evidently. But when they rub together and the information comes out, it's like ones and zeros. I don't know how this works, but it's hard to do the third thing and keep an eye up on the chat there. So
yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
Got some questions coming in.
We got a couple paragraphs now, so let's go to Victor's question first.
Oh boy.
So Victor just purchased an OBD adapter to connect the Africa Twin to my OBD reader. Is there a chart that can tell me if it is running too lean? If there is there a base map to compare with the readings I will get? Dealers say nothing is wrong, but still pops every once in a while. POS bike is getting on my nerves. Also feels like it loses power at altitude, which is impossible, right?
No. Okay. So I'll work backwards on your question. So no, any vehicle will lose power at altitude because there's just less oxygen. So the bike puts less fuel in it. It will lose power. This is normal. The lean decel pops. I don't know if you're ever going to get rid of them because I think what's happening is when you shut off like a current motorcycle, current fuel injected emissions compliant motorcycle, when you shut it off, instead of it dribbling a little bit of fuel in there, it completely shuts down the fuel. And so it's just a lean condition that creates the opportunity for the explosions in the exhaust system, for lack of a better term, I think. So I don't know that you can do anything with the unless I'm trying to think of the name of so there's a company that you can buy a thing that should be able to reprogram your stock ECU. I've done this before. And most of the people that actually do the tuning, they send you what we'll call a locked ECU or a locked tune. So you can't look at it to see what they've done. But sometimes the company that sells the tuner will have some, we'll call them unrestricted maps that they will sell or you have access to when you do this. So I'm not sure which, what tuner you have or where you, where you're piecing this thing together, but that's what you're up against. I don't know what the OBD tuner will do because I actually bought something that plugs into my thing, but it also plugs into my computer, and then I can send the tunes in and out. And it was pretty difficult to reprogram it. It took a few steps, and there was some. They do not make it easy. But of course, I only use mine for closed course competition use on the flat track on my private property. Ricky Brabeck, ADV Life.
Yeah,
I heard he's doing some ADV Life.
Oh, hey. Let's see here. Victor was saying I was told to get a booster plug, which is actually a air intake sensor that register low temp while making the ECU send a richer mix. All is stock still. So and there's another question that we'll get to after this.
So Victor, I haven't played around enough with I didn't on the Africa Twins that I rode, I didn't have any of these issues. So I never really explored it. I thought, and yours is like the older one compared to the newer one that I rode. And I don't remember it being that much of an issue. I'm wondering if, I know you've complained about it a lot. I wish there was a simple fix, but I mean, if that little part isn't that much, that'll make it richer, but I don't think that that's going to completely cure the problem. I wonder, are you running Pemex? Are you running Mexican gas in that thing? And that's what the problem is. That's probably what the problem is, right?
Yeah. It could be.
Yeah. So, okay, one more question, and we're going to go for a break.
Yep. So I got a full top of the line Kraft Moto suspension done for a full sized man, 6'4", 300 pounds, night and day difference. But wondering if you still got your Kraft setup and still use it. Any long term review? Side note with my setup and new springs, focusing on the rear springs. I have my rider sag set appropriately, but no longer have any static sag. That's normal.
That's not a problem. Okay, okay. So that is a problem. I you're not a chick, so I'm going to go, have you gained weight? Because they're like a lot of these suspension guys. They're really smart. And if you're telling them your weight and they send it with that, you should always have some static sag. If you are getting your regular sag and the bike tops back out, you need a stiffer spring. It's just, you want some free sag, because when the bike goes to that, when it rebounds and now it's, kind of rebounding that last little bit, there's very little damping up there. And that's kind of meant to, so the bike acts different when they top out like that on the spring. So, and at 300 pounds and a big guy like you're such a pendulum on the bike as well. But I'm wondering if you might be at the end of kind of where springs are available. It could actually be, you could be in a position where, and I don't know, I've not done that. So I think, so back to my Kraft suspension. Yeah, I absolutely still use it. I don't know which bike it's on right now. It's on my 300, might be on the 300, or it's on one of the other 500s. But yeah, I've been happy with it. It's probably time to get a service, or pretty soon time to have a service done on it. But it's definitely here. So I have a suspension guy who's been doing my suspension since 1991. It's a long time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I send him something, I don't even have to tell him anything. He or if I tell him, I say, hey, George, put a Jimmy setting in it. This is George ESP, really good friend of mine. And so we have an interesting dynamic where I don't have to tell him stuff. And then I have sent him back stuff that I got on used bikes that somebody else did. And he pulls it apart and he goes, oh, they put this and that and some other goofy, I don't want to say goofy, but it's not stock. I kind of expected it. I didn't realize they'd spent that much money to make the suspension that bad, but they had. And I wanted to go back to Jimmy settings, and he's like, can you just get some stock parts? Because we know exactly what to do putting the stock parts back in. So, but now a couple times there's parts that we're taking out because they're not that good. We know this because we've tried to modify it, but the Kraft stuff is good. It's good, high quality stuff. It has a slightly different character than exactly what I would want. And I think it's because, they're doing a lot more, we'll call it like, wet, damp trails, roots, rocks, not as much desert. And when I was working with them, I went kind of crazy on the bottoming resistance. And they're like, you can't need that much bottoming resistance. I'm like, oh yeah, I can. But I tend to ride a softer setup, and the bottoming resistance is really important to me. I need that kind of control at the end of the stroke. So that being said, get that shock spring fixed. And I think most of the other problems will go away. That's just a definite, like when we run into this problem, like especially when I'm riding like 125s and stuff, and I top this, most of the 120, I can just barely get the 125 to have a little bit of free sag with the close to the right amount of sag, and then I'm okay. But if it ever tops out, you have to go to the spring. So, okay. We will come back and answer more of your incredibly valuable and smart questions. And what are we going to do also besides pour another thing of tequila?
We're going to do some Roost or Endo.
Roost or Endo, everybody's favorite segment. So we'll see you back in a couple minutes. Hey, remember, these sponsors support this show and they all make good stuff.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it, to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Welcome back, and again, a big thanks to all of our sponsors. Tonight's tequila, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and tequila is, I have a hard time saying this name. This is a tequila you can't get here in the States. It's Los Guayabos, something like that. Los Guayabos. This is good. Mark, you would really enjoy this tequila in particular. So it's a extra añejo, which means it's extra expensive. So yeah, it's they age it for a little while. Pretty tasty. Has a very good smooth finish. So thanks everybody for joining in. We are going to keep going with your questions. We're trying to get Chris Reel on the phone right now because there was some regulations because of things that I don't understand, where we could get E15 fuel. It was sort of as an emergency thing. I think it's to help bring the price of, it's the fake way to bring the price of fuel down. And so now you could be getting E15 fuel, which means extra ethanol inside of it, which is not very good for sitting inside of your gas tank and or hot weather because it boils kind of easy. So is he popped up in the chat just yet?
No.
Nope. I'm going to try to call him. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to do. Why can't I call him? My phone doesn't work. He needs a passcode.
A passcode?
Here, text him. Can you? He shouldn't. I'm going to call him right now. I'm going to call him. Here we go. I think this works. Yeah, go do that. Or go ahead. And then I plug him into the thing.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chris. I'm going to plug you into the show here.
Oh, it's been a while since we've used that. Let's see if that actually works.
Okay, here we go.
Wrong thing.
Wrong thing.
Yeah. Just go ahead and.
Yeah, Chris, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Good. Okay, Matt's going to try to push some buttons and fix everything. So you sent out a really interesting email about a week ago that was talking about it was an emergency regulation to allow the use of E15 fuel.
Yes, yeah, it was a fuel waiver. So they're going to allow, EPA has been given the order to allow the continued use of E15 fuel for the summer.
So do we get E15 in the winter?
Some places, yes, and many places, yes. So, but it's usually it's a slightly different blend than normal, just because it has the ability to be a little bit cleaner for the environment. And so this year they're not changing the fuel as much, and it's going to be E15 pretty much year round this year.
And so the problem with this, the most obvious problem would be easier boiling of fuel.
Well, yes, it has a lower initial boiling point, and it also has a slightly different expansion rate. So, and it has, of course, has more oxygen. So the fuel will have a tendency to percolate in your fuel tank when the fuel gets low, or you leave your bike in the sun.
I've had it happen with full tank, half tank, quarter tank. It seems like, especially when it gets really warm and you're going slow speed and there's not any cooling effect from the outside air, that it happens quite a bit. I have this motorcycle, you might have heard it. It's called a Husaberg.
Yep.
The pipe runs right up underneath the tank, runs right up underneath the seat, and that's a gas boiling monster.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got some video and some data and stuff like that. Some of the fuel will boil at like 105 degrees. So if it's a 95 degree day and you started your motorcycle, the bottom of the tank is hot enough to make it boil.
And when does this become like problematic in that the bike will start running poorly?
If you've got ambient air temperatures above about 85 degrees, with some of the fuels, you can expect some fuel boiling. And of course, when you gain elevation, every time you go up 1,000 feet, you drop the boiling point of the fluid down. So there's an intersection point of when to expect it. So if I'm riding at 2,000 feet elevation and it's 90 degrees ambient air temperature, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some significant chance of fuel boiling, and that also affects the tuning and very much your fuel economy.
Yeah, because I've yet to have boiling fuel cause my bike to stop running. I have noticed it would get like kind of wouldn't run proper before, but I was always worried, and I was never down to like an eighth of a tank, let's say, where I thought maybe that all that the fuel boiling would make it so that it would have a hard time pumping it into building pressure up in the line. So is having extra fuel in there would help also, but is there a point where it since it's because it when I've looked at it in some of the more clear tanks, you can see how it kind of starts more up at the top.
Well, yes, the bubbles and stuff will you'll start having what looks like foam, but it's actually boiling. And if there's a hot spot close to the pipe or where you have a lot of radiant heat or next to a heat sink like a submerged fuel pump, it can start boiling there, and then the pressure goes up in your fuel tank, and most of us have fairly good venting, so that we don't have a pressurizing problem most of the time. But some of us with adventure bikes, we can have the old hoof when you open the gas tap.
Oh, and I've had some of the even motocross bikes with a little pressure check valve, the little ball valve. To make it so it doesn't spill when it falls over. I've had those, there's enough pressure coming out of it to where it got the ball, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at the gas tank. So, it got going good, but I don't know what fuel it was. And this is a few years back. This is probably 7 or 8 years back that I had the couple, actually a couple different tanks. It was I believe it was the KTM gas cap. The stock gas cap on an EXC because it has a ball in there, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's a vapor retention or pressure retention valve that it has a ball in there, and they can get jammed, or they can get so overpressurized that it isn't bleeding the pressure out of the tank, and there are times when you can see a gas tank actually very swollen from internal pressure.
Yeah, and I think what it was, we were kind of riding it kind of aggressively. It was getting hot. It was really hot outside. It was higher altitude. We're bouncing around. And I suspect it was just bouncing around. It was enough to where there was pressure blowing out. That little ball, the check ball went up, hit, and there was enough pressure to hold it there. And then we stopped. And I'm like, no, it looks like I'm getting a large gas tank. This isn't good. And you could on that tank, you could actually see it. You could literally see the gas going off in there. So that's one question. So how much of a concern really is this for riders?
Well, it's what we're going to get, and so the things that we have to just kind of be mindful of is the feels like it's vapor locking, or it's the fuel tank is rumbling. You're gonna want to make sure that the pressure is from that. So it's not a death sentence. It's just something that we're going to contend with for a while, and more so in the future. But fortunately, most of our bikes are pretty smart and can contend with that. And so we're going to continue to see vapor recovery equipped motorcycles, and we're going to continue to see high vapor pressure or low boiling point fuels. So we're all going to have to adapt a little bit, and and making sure that the tank is venting is a big thing. And
so it doesn't pressurize.
So it doesn't pressurize.
Right. The last time I remember it really being problematic was kind of during the COVID times when I guess we didn't use a lot of the winter fuel, and the winter fuel kind of stuck around into the summer. And so that's sort of what we're going to go through now with them allowing it's exactly what, it's exactly the condition that we're going to have, because the fuel isn't going to be seasonally adjusted in all locations. So I'm speaking kind of in a broad sense, but E15 is going to be with us this year, for sure. And we just have to kind of contend with it. We're not going to go as far on a tank of fuel. Fuel may boil a little bit, and the bike may be leaner than we like. Okay. But that's, I won't say it's a death sentence. I'm just saying it's one of those things where you go, if your bike starts running bad and you haven't done anything, it's fuel, probably. Then so next question is this, if this fuel sits in your tank for long periods of time, is it more problematic?
A little bit. Fortunately, the newer bikes, if they're within 5 years old or so, they're pretty they're pretty fuel safe. The thing with the ethanol fuels, they do bring in water, and that's a little bit challenging on fuel pumps and fuel filters, and of course it does
carburetors.
Some carburetor corrosion issue. The green the green rot in a carburetor, or black brass jets. That is absolutely corrosion.
Right, and that's from the ethanol attracting the water getting into the fuel system. So I guess good preventative measure would it be just to start the bike every so often or agitate it so that the water separates and gets back in there and.
My solution on that is, the water's going to go to the bottom of the tank, and that's where your petcock is.
Yep.
And your carburetor's is lower than the petcock.
Yeah.
And so, once in a while, taking the drain cap off and dumping the water out, and that's where it's going to be. And then, I always run a little, I have an unplanned hydrocarbon release. I turn the gas on and let some dribble up onto a rag, which is
and
recycled.
put into a container, a sealed container, and disposed of properly, of course.
Well, I use it for lighting the campfire, but don't tell anybody.
So yeah, and then, but is the water that hard on the fuel pumps as well?
Well, yes, water's, fuel actually has a fair amount of lubricity, and the water does not. And the tea bag style fuel filters won't pass water, and they'll turn black. They have a little bit of activated carbon in them, or they'll turn a color when they have water in there. So water won't go through some fuel filters.
Right. Okay. Hey, do you have the question about the oil? I asked you to save, Matt. We have a question. Someone had their oil analyzed, Chris.
Right. And I read that thread, and that's called spectroanalysis.
Analysis. Correct.
And it's basically like an X-ray of the oil. And it's, oil analysis like that is common in heavy duty trucking and in industrial applications and aircraft, and lube engineers use it a lot to see what's going on in an engine. And so, a spectroanalysis will tell you the heavy metals, first of all, it'll tell you what's in your oil. And so you always, if you're more in a C student, you'll run a virgin sample through, and so that'll tell you how much zinc and calcium and
comes stock with the oil, and then you see what your engine added to it.
Yeah, when the engine starts, when the parts start rubbing on each other, they're going to generate some debris. And the problem that we have with motorcycle oil analysis is many people forget that you've got the transmission and the clutch in there generating a lot of wear metals, and that typically skews the report values, where they say, oh my gosh, you've got solids and you've got steel and maybe some copper. Well, that's clutch dust.
Yeah. So that's what I and it's kind of funny because I didn't even think about that when I told the viewer. I said, hey, I think you've kind of established a baseline here, and especially because it was such a new motor to me, 26 hours. I'm like, I'm not too worried about it. But okay, so you've kind of established this baseline of where you're at, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't abuse the clutch that it might actually get better over time. If you change your oils a few times, set another sample in, it might be a little less, i.e. break in.
Yeah, but the what you're talking about is parts per million of wear metals, and a little bit of copper. That's not a good thing. Copper shouldn't be in there, but there's very often there's copper in some of the in some of the components that shed debris. And so, I'm on the same page. I'd watch it a little bit. Change the oil on a regular basis and keep the filter clean, and it'll plateau out. It'll be your results will become normalized. They won't change too much
until something starts going wrong, and then they will change drastically.
Right. And if you want to get forensic on it, you can take a coffee filter and the oil filter and a half a can of contact cleaner, and you can wash the wear metals out of the oil filter, and that'll give you a minor heart attack. You'll start wondering where your credit card is, and so you can replace the engine.
This guy was having mental anguish over this, and I said I feel that's kind of normal, but when if I'm curious about an engine's health, I do that. I cut the perforated oil filter. I take it, slice it, pull it apart, look down in the pleats, dump the stuff out, and look at it. And I look at the magnets, like I have drain plugs with magnets on there, and those generally are really good. And you're always going to get something. I mean, those are all the fourth gear misshifts, the slipping, like I said, slipping the clutch, abusing the clutch, and just like general wear and tear. But I have motors now that are 500-600 hours old that come out way cleaner than brand new bike, 5 oil change bike. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And he mentioned, that he's got, some fuel dilution, and from the laboratory standpoint, that's unusual because they're used to dealing with really tight, really well, tuned stock car engines where we don't get much fuel dilution on a normal basis. But motorcycles have terrible fuel trim control. So we, at idle very often, we're not trimming the fuel. It's kind of the sprayer isn't, is either on or off, or it may be dribbling a little bit.
And it's hard to keep a single cylinder motor running with no flywheel weight. Sometimes you have to squirt a little extra fuel in that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, fuel dilution, is kind of normal. And when you get some fuel in the oil, it thins the oil. Just change the oil, a little bit more frequently if you're really worried about it. Or, if the fuel or the oil when you're doing an oil change, if it smells like gas, you may have a minor issue, but I remember change oil a little bit more often.
Yeah, the fuel injected bikes not so much, but I remember on carbureted bikes, it seemed like there were scenarios where you could probably just have a slightly high float level that would just pour a little extra oil or a little extra fuel that might actually leak out, or and run through an open intake valve, and who knows, or the bike tipped over and a bunch of gas, instead of going out the overflow, went down the throttle, through the intake track, and you pick it up and it drained, past a couple rings, who knows. But yeah, nothing. Little fuel in the oil, nothing to stress out about on your dirt bike.
That's my opinion, and and just on top of the maintenance, and if you think there's something, the bike starts, the oil filter starts looking bad, or the oil drains out and it looks really thin, or smells of gasoline. Well, then the gas is coming from someplace. But I wouldn't stress out about it too much, and then use common sense and good oil and at the right levels, and you should be good. And
like you've always said, the best oil to have in your motorcycle is some oil.
That's right.
I'm still looking for a petroleum sponsor, to help out with the Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and then I'll say it's the best. Well, it has to work really well, and then I'll say it's the best one for everybody, because we're just shills for our sponsors here, Chris.
Okay, well, I mean, I consult to a few of the, the oil companies these days, and I'll
pass that note along.
I'll run it past them.
Yeah, we're available for a price. So, hey, thanks a lot for coming on and answering, all of our petroleum and oil questions, because when I don't know, I like to turn to a professional, and I'm a little worried that people, find me for free on the internet and then they think I'm a professional, but I get 9 out of 10 right, Chris?
You do pretty good, and what you lack in some areas you kind of make up in with experience, and all of us outsource and find different resources. So don't never be bashful about reaching to the outside.
Okay, that's good, because the pause before I asked that question was a little long in my book. It was causing a little bit of trife. But hey, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you out in the trail, Chris.
Okay, Jimmy, you take care. See you soon.
Okay, see you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was Chris Real. I always say Real. Mm-hmm. I give it the Spanish twang for Victor, of course.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I've known him for a long time. He does do a lot of consulting, and used to be. He had an oil company, a Durlube, back in the day, which they made a lot of really good oils for a lot of different motorcycles. And now he does a lot of stuff with, sound testing, sound compliance, and just what a smart guy. DPS Technical is where Chris works. So if you have a problem that requires high-level scientific research, you can check out Chris at DPS Technical. And I always love having him on the show, because I learn something every time. And now I'm not as scared of E15 as I was, because I guess I've been running it for a long time, and it didn't leave me out in the trail.
Yep.
So if you're lucky you can get non-ethanol fuel, then you don't have to worry about this. But we don't have that option here. So I guess it's time to get to some people's favorite segment of the show.
This
is
I'd
Tech
say
Talk.
It's my favorite.
Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, episode number 188. If you're not familiar, I have no idea how we've gotten 188 shows into this. How many episodes have you been pushing buttons for?
88.
You started at show 100.
Show 100 was my first episode.
Right. And you have a catalog of all the shows with all the important information?
I have a link to a YouTube playlist that has the descriptions of each show.
Okay. How's John doing with putting up the banger clips?
He got a real job. So he and I just were in contact this week about catching up on some stuff.
He works at a mountain bike shop. That's not a real job.
It's a more real job than the one, because he's actually getting more money for that job.
Okay. So he's hanging out with a bunch of stoners in a bicycle shop, and he's not doing the work that he needs to be doing here, getting the banger clips up for to get us more viewers. Although, I mean, we're at like 30,000. I can already tell. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Best motorcycle show that you can listen to right now, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Roost or Endo, let's bring it on.
Okay. So this is Roost.
If you're wondering, this is brought to you by Taco Moto. That's tacomoto.co. They have every ECU that you need before you go to that 44 millimeter throttle body. Check out tacomoto.co on the webs and ask them a question if you are curious, because they will answer it.
All right. So first up is going to be his nickname is Chicken Joe, but
I know this dude.
Yeah, his real name is Andrew. So it's a 2017.
Yeah, why does he call himself Chicken Joe? I met this guy. This guy shoots videos for Trevor, helps Trevor with some videos. Mm-hmm. Super awesome cat. And look at that photo. That's backlight-orific. Mm-hmm. That's done well. But he pulled up. We were just done doing the 450 shootout, and he pulled up. And I was out shooting some. So if you watch the 450 videos that we did, if you see the horrible shots that are all shaky and like tracking Trevor, if Trevor's on the bike, I shot it with, and I'm not that good. I just get it done. Mm-hmm. And on the very last shot, I was waiting for Trevor to come around, because he's kind of slow. And I was waiting for him to come around, and Chicken Joe rolled across in that bike right through my frame. I was doing a little long lens stuff. So I was back in the bushes, waiting for him to come out of this tunnel. Chicken Joe pulled out. on that bike, and I caught the bike, and I'm like, what's that? That's kind of weird, different color. And then he parked the bike, and I'm like, okay, good, he's out of my shot.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to get the same shot that I was going to get, but from a closer angle. And he walked right in front of my shot.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, come on.
Automatic
anyways,
endo.
So, you know, of course, I'm not afraid to tell somebody they walked into my shot afterwards when he rolled over there. But what a cool guy. Cool. So anyways, tell us about the bike.
2017 Husqvarna TX300, Rival Ink graphics, custom-made fur bar pad, a Cherubies full plastic kit, P3 carbon fiber frame guards, front disc protector and skid plate, Poison reeds, rear disc guard, custom gut seat cover, FMF pipe and titanium silencer, full auto recluse clutch came with the bike, so we left it in because it makes racing Glen Helen downhills a lot easier. Tubeless front and rear, BRP bar mounts, W wheels, Cycra hand guards, Cycra wraparound hand guards, Electron carb, Scott stabilizer, flex bars, ODI Rogue lock-on grips, Tugger lift straps, radiator fan, Tusk shift lever, IMS tank and Enduro pegs, metal radiator guards, and Amold's rubber chicken, small glow-in-the-dark yellow.
I thought it was a KTM. It's amazing. They're kind of the same shape. But no, it's look at the light coming through the handguard. Mm-hmm. Like it just lit that thing up. That bike when you see it, it literally is that color. It's it's day glow. And his gear kind of matches. Like he has the fur bar pad, but he has I think he has fur on his helmet or fur on his shoulders. I think his walk around clothes match that as well. I think he runs a day glow life. But that bike Roost, I'm glad he put it on there.
It's a good picture. The picture quality really gone up in the last couple of weeks.
Hey, you can bitch about something for a little while and it finally takes hold. Yeah. But yeah, Andrew, thanks for sending that in. By the way, Chicken Joe shots or Instagrams, or we got to get his Insta. Do you throw his Insta handles or something like that? Or
I didn't see any Instagram handles. But.
Yeah, he should have. I told him to promote.
Sweet.
Promote.
Okay, and up next is Jacob Coville.
Get on your shit.
2019
It 500. Says that in the background. I read it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't like to say that kind of stuff, but
oh, wow.
Like a trained animal.
Yeah, so 2019 500 EXCF, FMF 4.1, JD tuner, Taco tidy tail, and that is pretty much it. Everything else is stock.
I have one of those.
Including the tires.
Except I changed the tires.
Yeah, the stock tires are
I think you can get, I think there's a recall on those tires. I think you can actually get Continental to buy you a new set of tires. And I would go with Kenda Parker DTs, by the way, because they're DOT legal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the last bike was a Roost for sure.
Yeah, Roost for sure.
Roost for sure. This bike is...
Those tires, they just turn me off so much.
Are you sure the back one's a TKC? It looks kind of like a Michelin it looks like a Moto's or something different. It's way more
that block pattern
beefy on the side.
TK. Oh yeah.
No, it's
a little bit more beefy on the side.
It's so I don't know if we described the other bike good enough. The chicken bike.
Yeah.
Dayglow with like fire red accents. Because people are listening to this and they want to know what they're looking at.
Yeah, and this is a shot of a 500. And
this is a stock. You could go to a KTM dealership and see this every day, except it doesn't have a blue muffler.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm all here for a stock 500. I'm all here for that. But those tires?
Yeah, you can't take advantage of the bike with those tires.
Yeah.
It really leaves you, well, unless you're really doing dual sport. And look, he came down that tunnel and he's riding in Graffitiville. He could be doing some urban dual sporting, which might involve like parking lots. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've ever done this, Matt. We call it super retarding in parking lots. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like super motard.
Oh, I saw a video from the
same
90s.
video. Yeah. We used to put like the worst tires ever for everything else but riding in parking lots, because sometimes the parking lots are gravelly, so you couldn't run full slicks. I tried slicks. Road racing reins were pretty good, but if we ever threw a dirt section in on the side of the parking lot, then having horrible dual sport tires was a good thing. So this was going down Endo Boulevard, but he's on the tunnel of Roost because I think that I've got his jib. I know he's riding this urban dual sport, and those are the best tires you could ever have for this. I don't know what they are, but they look like they might work because you might just be getting scraping the foot peg on the parking lot. You might have to go through like a mossy creek. Maybe there's some loamy dirt and you're going to suffer, but yeah, it's roosting.
It's
just because it's simple. Because all day long I say stock, and he did it. He doesn't have 20,000 things done to his bike, and I'm sure when he finds a better tire or he needs more power, he needs this or that, then he'll do it. So yeah, it's an
Endo for me. But if he switched out those tires, like even with all that in mind,
Matt, get on your shit.
I'm trying to
with $2 double signs.
I'm trying to,
like it says in the back.
Yeah, but it's an Endo for me. But we're allowed to have different opinions. Okay,
we are.
Yeah.
I thought you signed we will have you will abide by the opinion thing.
I don't recall that. I don't recall signing anything. I think I just showed up and I just keep coming back.
Hey, by the way, thanks for coming out and hanging out at Takamoto thing.
Yeah. It was really close to my place, so I kind of had no excuse to go.
Okay. It wasn't to hang out with me for sure. But you got free food, right?
Pretty good free food. I loaded up on the free food.
This is editorial life. You get a little bit of free food, you just show up.
Yeah. I got I had some people to talk to me, but it was cool to see Jesse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So this is everyone want to talk to you though. You were popular.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I just scared people away. Okay, stock tires, Endo.
Are those stock?
Yes. That's a TKC80.
Oh, that is a TKC80. Yeah.
I don't know how that guy got there.
Yeah, and the front isn't stock.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm already I saw that rear tire.
Tom Keith, 2016 501S that has the Euro map, Lucky kits in the forks, a clutch weight, Midwest MNT levers, fastway steering dampener, backwashers, a homemade throttle tamer. Love the bike.
Yeah.
So this is a 2016. This means he's stuck with the TKC80s.
Maybe he doesn't ride that much. I don't know. That's like almost a Husaberg. That's how old that Husky is.
Yeah.
Is it a Husaberg?
No, it's a Husqvarna.
It's a Husky.
Yeah. But
I'm pissed off at the photo. I don't know if you cropped it funny because I can't see the mountains.
No, it's not cropped.
You know how girls get on the Instagrams or something like that? I don't ever look at these photos because that's my feed's not completely loaded up with a bunch of girls that are taking pictures of their ass in the mirror. And that's all they want you to see is their ass. And then
it's strange, Jimmy. You have that same exact pose on the grinder.
Okay, but you manage that. So
AI
generated. It's like I'm not. Oh yeah, it's all AI. I'm not into the big ass, especially when it's TKC80 rear tire. And I want to see the view. I want to see the rest of what's going on. The bike's okay. The fact that it got there with that tire is pretty impressive. Unless we just pull off the highway, I don't know. I'm just slowly.
This bike does look like it's set up for the road, a lot of road.
Yeah, super dual sporty.
Yeah,
he's got the underhang mirror. He's got that. Is that a double take mirror?
No, it's an underhang. It's not on the edge of the handlebar though.
So double take makes these really nice tiny little fold out mirror kind of things that look just like that are actually really good if you just for legality. And if you position them right, kind of where he has this, believe it or not, they work. You can see what's behind you. And so and it's out of the way, but Endo, full 100%.
Endo for me too.
Yeah.
TKC80. As soon as that pops up,
Asher Lido says, "Man, all these KTMs." That wasn't a KTM. Anyone ride any other company? We have other ones.
Yeah, well, this is actually the first all KTM show we've had for a little bit. It's been mostly We've had a lot of variety lately, actually.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've returned to just KTMs. Okay, so this is going to be Justin Freeman.
Let's see. To get there with that tire, I assume he took the Jimmy Lewis class. Oh, Todd at TW, thanks for pointing out JimmyLewisOffroad.com. We're not teaching schools until October, unless you're going to the Tour Tech Rally, where the classes are almost sold out, actually. So
nice.
Better join if you're going to the Tour Tech Rally, because you have to go to the rally to be able to get in the class. Heavily discounted classes. You can come see me and Matt there. And check us out and then sign up for our newsletter, JimmyLewisOffroad.com. Click on the side, go to the newsletter, sign up. Then we'll send you like 3 emails a year telling us when we have classes available. This looks just like the other bike from another angle with different graphics.
I did when these were submitted, I double checked it wasn't the same bike, but
I'm going to tell you straight up, that has double take mirrors on it.
Yep.
You know, I owe Double Take a lot, because they sponsored the me and Logan video riding back from wherever we rode back from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get the damn song done. And so I can't make the video, even after all that effort you guys put into it.
Yeah.
And it's Double Take wanted to sponsor that. But anyways, Double Take makes the best mirrors as demonstrated on this particular bike.
Okay.
And the C Concept seat, another sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a 2023 Husky 501. So this could have been pretty fresh from the showroom still. Takamoto Athena Gate.
It has TKC80 tires on it.
Yep. The Smog Delete kit.
They must be really good. Everybody's running them. Should I switch?
No, I've ridden the stock TKC80s off-road once.
And that's enough?
And I swore, I said, I'm never riding another bike with TKC80s. Hey,
they're really good adventure bike tires. If you're adventuring, they're really good, but not on a small bike. Like on the unless you're just going to pretty much ride roads all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And by all the time, I mean never go in the dirt. Then they're okay. And you can probably, there was a big recall. You can probably get another set of tires for free. So,
yeah, it's just because I rode a client's 500 around. This was a private class. I rode he had the TKC80s, and I rode him around the whoop track down at the play area.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was on ice skates.
Right. They're not deep enough to bite.
No.
And the profile's a little bit too round. I mean, it's all the stuff that makes a really good road tire. And there's a reason you have road tires, and there's a reason you have off-road tires. They're completely different. Just like the techniques for riding on-road are completely different than the techniques riding off-road until you get to a very, very high level on-road. When you go to a very, very high level on-road, then you start using more off-road techniques.
Yep.
So if you want to be a better road rider, come take my class.
So to me, this is an Endo just for those tires alone.
I'm not super stoked on the.
I mean, everything else
the
is
semi backlit photo. Did we read off what it had on it?
Takamoto Athena Gate ECU, Pro Moto exhaust tips, Smog Delete kit, C Concept seat. More mods are coming soon.
With the $100 that he's not going to get because of Endos.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not smoke coming off that tire with all those mods to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You should have taken the picture. Like
he's got a front rotor guard that you didn't mention.
I can't see it. It's in the angle.
Yeah.
I've laid off that a little bit, haven't I?
A little bit lately. Yeah. So Facebook user,
how do the TKC? Good question. How do the TKCs compare to the Dunlop 606s?
And I'll have a follow-up question after this.
Okay, so the 606s are a little bit more off-road focused. They last. They have the same durability on road that the TKCs do. They don't work as good if you're like really leaning over, but if you're straight line acceleration or like just leaned over a little bit of acceleration, they're just fine. But man, do they work better off-road compared to the TKC 80s. And if you know how the 606 works off-road compared to a good DOT knobby or a real knobby, then you know how bad the TKC is. And nothing against Continental. You know why they're on that bike? Sound.
You just answered my next question.
It's because they don't make a lot of sound when they roll down the pavement, and that's what's important to pass the sound test.
Yeah.
Knobby tires are very, very noisy to a sound meter, period.
And I do want to, and then you did say they make a good dual sport tire. I wanted to clarify. I have nothing against this tire on big bikes. Actually, it's
on the big bikes. That's one of the staples. They set the bar for all the other manufacturers that are still coming out to this day with different tires that maybe don't perform as well as the TKC 80 on the grand scheme of things. Their TKC 80 is an expensive tire. It's not inexpensive. I run Kenda Parker big blocks on my, Kenda big blocks, not Parker. I run Parker DTs on pretty much all of my dirt bikes. I run big blocks on my adventure bikes. So and they help me out with my school. They support me. So, but they're good tires or I wouldn't use them, period. And if, I'm not beating on any one tire or this or that, but I've ridden and the good thing about all the companies that support me and help me out, I'm allowed to wear other gear, use other helmets, other boots, other tires. I can try anything. I never sign if you want to get an exclusive deal with me, it's going to be ridiculously expensive because it prevents me from doing my job in other arenas. And the companies that trust me to do this, they know that I'm using this other stuff. So when they're supporting me or something like that, I say, hey, we can make an improvement here. It comes from a level of experience and I don't care. I don't work there, but I want them to have better products.
Yeah.
And so that's when I do R&D and stuff like that. That's why I have a lot of experience with this stuff. Next.
Okay, so this next final one of the night is going to be from Steve Smith, who was on the Zoom call earlier. He's actually still on the call, but just muted. So this is his submission right here. 2015 500 EXC Taco Get Recluse BDCW skid plate.
Looks like he's riding the Sandblast Rally.
Taco 90-degree fuel outlet and filter, seat concept seat, Boyson supercooler, Baja Designs headlight, 4-gallon tank, etc.
I'm wondering what he's going to crash into. What he's bracing for.
Oh no.
Well, the problem is that position would lead me to think that he should be beginning to get on the brakes, but I'm seeing Roost come off the tire. And
body position can use a little work.
Yeah, you know how we always talk about where the head's at?
Yeah.
And it's anything, but that bike looks like really kind of familiar. It looks like a lot of the ones I have in the garage with different graphics and different gear and different rider and different things. What do you say? What tires he had on it? Because we've been just going off on the tires tonight, so we might as well just keep it going.
No mention on the tires.
No mention on the tires. Do we have to give a shout out to Keith's Creatives for the photo?
He's getting some. Keith is getting some free advertising here.
Run me the list one more time.
Get ECU.
Right, that's why it's roosting.
Recluse. Clutch. Doesn't say, just says Recluse. BDCW skid plate, Taco 90-degree fuel outlet and filter, seat concept seat, Boyson supercooler, Baja Designs headlight, 4-gallon tank, and then finishes with etc.
Etc. Well, I'm going to tell you what etc. is. Lucky this bike starts, right, Steve? That fender bag is really affecting the output of the Baja Designs light. I know it's daytime, but I've done this before because I've gone on one of those rides where you used up all the 6 tubes you had and you needed one more. And I decided to be the guy to bring one more. But when it became night, I took that tube off and I threw it in my backpack. So the tube front fender thing, and it also just, I used to not care about that much, but putting that weight on the fender now seems to make a little bit of a difference for me. I like that he's riding. Is Sandblast Rally? Is he in the chat still? Oh, he's in the room.
He's in the Zoom chat. If you want to put your replies in the Zoom chat,
it looks to me like Jersey or Florida? I don't know. He didn't say where he's from, right?
No, it didn't say.
Yeah. Roost.
Yeah, it's Roost for me.
He's got a motocross action.
He said, yeah, Sandblast.
How did I know this?
I don't know. You've been almost everywhere on a dirt bike. So.
Yeah. So he's got the motocross action helmet, orange helmet. So it's he's probably too young to be a motocross action test rider, though. He's definitely not old enough to be on the wrecking crew. But I'm a little worried about the goggle strap. You need a set of Scott goggles that has the sticky silicone on the backside of the strap, so that strap doesn't fall down low like that. And if you want a couple little tips on the riding style, we can help you out. I know a guy.
Yeah.
So. Okay, where are we at here? Is that our last one?
That's the last one.
I know which
tonight.
one wins.
We got a lot of submissions, so if you didn't see yours on tonight, it's going to be on a future episode. I give priority to those that are emailed to me, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's hard to harvest the ones off.
We had a bountiful harvest of Rooster Endo submissions today.
Full harvest.
So I do want to thank everyone for that. It definitely makes my job a little bit easier.
What time did you put the post up?
6:30.
6:30.
9 to 5 got me a little. When you leave a tab open, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then you leave that tab open on your computer, and then you leave your place.
No.
So that's what happened with my my Facebook post. It was on a tab.
Oh, really?
Open.
Oh,
so it didn't go out earlier than it didn't go out. At
never sent it out.
Yeah. So as soon as I got here, I put it up, and there we go.
Okay. Well, now I know which one wins for me. I'm going to override you, so go ahead and make your case.
I think I like Steve's, honestly, because it's the sand, and it wasn't a TKC 80 on the rear. Although Chicken Joe was pretty good.
Dude, Chicken Joe.
Okay,
so number one, I told him to do it. I didn't say if you do it, you're going to win. I just said submit your bike.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a really good photo. He gave us year, make, and model.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He followed the instructions, and his bike is that's his bike.
Mm-hmm.
It has stuff. I mean, not my kind of stuff, but it has stuff. I think it's really, he has Fasst Company flex handlebars.
Yep.
Do you know how happy my wrists are right now? They're not swollen up because I
was trying to come up with a grinder joke, but nothing was coming to my head.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be OnlyFans. I'm gonna be on OnlyFans answering motorcycle questions.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I can make money there. That's all the people I follow are there. Right.
Yeah, sure.
So I rode my mountain bike, my Giant Trance today, which I finally got back in the shop. I had to drill the lockout for the battery because there's a little issue. Man, bicycle shops have a long way to go, even though they're doing their job, and they have a long way to go because now they've entered motorcycle shop world because it has a motor on it. It's a whole different thing. But I finally got it back. It was all good. I have flex handlebars on my mountain bike, and they're insane. If you think they're good on motorcycles, they're really good on bicycles. And
which makes sense because I feel like when I'm riding a bicycle, I'm feeling a lot more of the forces going on.
Yeah. So flex handlebars, and Chicken Joe had flex handlebars.
Yeah.
By the way, so that's probably that's the only reason. I'm a shill for all of our sponsors. Go to fastco.com and check out. Oh, somebody wanted to know on my Tenere vlog. They wanted to know what bend bars I'm using. So I'm basically on the Tenere. I'm using I'm trying to think the standard height, whatever their standard height is, and 12-degree sweep. And I think I don't believe I'm running the Enduro ones, which have the Enduro ones are a little narrower in the center, but they run a longer thing because you can put more stuff on there. But I think I'm just running the standard 12-degree bend. So that answers that question that I should have remembered to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Pearson says, I'll try again.
Yeah, like I said, if you commented or emailed me your bike, it's going to be on a list.
Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll talk about all of them. But thanks everybody for submitting those. Thanks to Takamoto, $100 gift certificate is going to Chicken Joe. So Chicken, reach out. His name's Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew, reach out and we'll get you taken care of there. Number 13 is the winner. Who said that? I can't see on the chat.
I don't know.
Mark Daniels. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So, and Mark's, didn't we let him pick last time?
We had chat kind of help us out last time.
Yeah, we had someone in the chat pick it. So it's not always me, but I was pretty decisive on this one.
Yeah.
It was good. And he also helps out Trevor shooting this stuff. What are you doing?
Adjusting my mic.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we're about to hop off here.
I thought you were on Grindr with that mic movement.
Oh, well, you know what? We got to be professionals in something, Jimmy.
So
$20 is $20.
Anyways, hey, let's see. Do we answer all our questions?
No, but we can put them into next week's
Thanks
shows.
to Yamaha. Thanks to Takamoto. Thanks to Scott Sports. There's some new stuff coming from Scott on the 17th, which I think is tomorrow. I couldn't talk about it. Climb, DDC, Trail Tech. Product of the week, Matt. You almost let me go without doing product of the week.
Oh. Yeah.
And that's why I wore this hat. SP Connect. And I talked about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pull my phone off this thing. And when I first got this stuff, I said, hey, I'm going to be testing it out. Well, I've tested it out. So SP Connect makes basically phone cases that connect to different little gadgets that go on your motorcycle, your bicycle, or different things. And so I have a vent clip that goes in my truck. And I have a number of different mounts that go, one's on my Tenere and one's on a ram ball. So it goes between other things. And so the whole key to the thing is the case. So I have the case and it has a little clip on the back of it. And there's a lot of different companies that make this stuff. And I have been maybe a dinosaur with this stuff because a lot of times I want to turn off. I don't, when I hop on a motorcycle or a bicycle, I don't want to see this. But then there's other times I want to. When I'm driving, I want to listen to my podcast and not be bothered, but then my phone goes dead. Sometimes I know I'm going to get a call, but I want to go riding and I just need to have my phone someplace where I can see it so I can answer that call as opposed to being in my pocket and I'll never know. So with the ram ball, it goes on any one of my bikes. On the Tenere, they have these cool trick little mounts for different things. One goes in the handlebar mount stem, bolts on, some clamp on around, round clamps. But it's simple as you just clip it on here and you figure out, it indexes and then it locks in. And 2 Baja trips. Now, 2 trips and the phone still works, which is pretty amazing because that's a lot of stuff. And so this piece here, and this is the coolest part about it, is this clips on to they basically the way this phone clips onto this one, this also clips onto, it's a charger.
Oh wow.
So I can put this on anything as long as I have a USB plug. So on the Tenere, it's real easy. Cigarette lighter one in the truck, it's real easy. Just goes in there. And now my phone's charging the whole time I'm using it.
Nice.
I've dropped this phone a lot, like that. Dropped it, bounced it around. Case is solid. I used to use this other certain case because I dropped my phone a lot. And this one's been just as good, if not better. It charges on just on my lay down pads that it usually does. It's all good. So yeah, check them out. SP Connect. I'm going to give you the website right now. I have to look at it. spconnect.com. sp-connect.com. There's a catalog of all their stuff. I mean, it'll mount on anything. And so there's a little bit of an investment to get all the little pieces like this piece and the different mounts. But once you have those, then if you're switching phones, you get another case and then you're all good. So, pretty stoked on. I'm going to probably do a little video and stuff for Dirt Bike Test, where I'll have all the information where I get the prices and different things.
Nice.
But I'm sold. Like
Yeah.
I've kind of converted from being a Neanderthal to something that actually works, and it works well. I never had one fly off, and I've smacked into this thing while it's on my handlebars, and my bike's tipped over a couple times, and
It's still holding strong.
It's still holding strong. It's all good.
There we go.
So there we go. So it's a wireless charger. Yeah, it's a wireless charger, but it's mostly a mounting system.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can add the
charger,
the charging in like wireless, it kind of goes through, it kind of sends it up through the, however that works.
So iPhones have a wireless charging feature.
Wireless charging feature.
Yeah.
So that's what it uses. So I don't have to plug it in anything. Cause I'll tell you what I've noticed is if I put plugs in here on my iPhones on a motorcycle, they don't last very long. The plug in the phone and the plug, we have problems. So all good. So that's what it is. Flex bars, 68 millimeter, 92 millimeter, and 116 for height, 10, 12, 14, and 25 for the sweep. So, wow, 20, they make it 25. So 12 is pretty aggressive for most people. 10 is too much for me, but 14 was what I used to run. I've kind of moved to 12. And I think I'm running in the 92 millimeter height, if you're going to get specific. But yeah, thanks, Dave. And got all the specs there. So what did it say about product of the week up there?
Oh, Mark was asking about product of the week. So.
Oh, he knew we missed it?
Yeah.
But I got it before he put that up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Whew.
All right, I
want to be better than I need to be a better host than the thing. So we're going to do Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, number 189.
Mm-hmm.
I think next week we might actually go remote, do a nice, cool show.
Are you going to be producer and co-host, or are we still doing a Zoom
I don't
call?
know. You got to tell me how to do this stuff because there's way too many wires and buttons for me. There's more than one or two, then I'm out of it.
Well, good thing is we've done a remote show with that laptop before, so setup should be easy.
I'm going to do it with this, but I want to run it through the Mevo camera. Thanks, Mevo. They help us out a lot. But I want to run it through a Mevo camera and then run the mic in and then use the Voice-O-Matron machine. Because I want to run those two things so I can run the headphones like the one you have on there and use that speaker. So I'm all legit. And that way, hopefully you can, if we do a Zoom thing, you can post them in. You can bring them in remotely.
Okay.
Oh, Matt just lost his shit. And with that, everybody, we're going to see you out in the trail and we will see you next week. So cheers.